Hi, welcome to another episode of Rev on the Road. I'm in a nice quiet room here, so there shouldn't be many interruptions. Today I want to talk to you about the challenges of travel, the unexpected things that can sometimes feel like, why me? Why is this happening to me? So I want to begin by sharing with you like my roller coaster ride on the way from Washington, D.C. to finally getting here in Denmark. I was supposed to leave D.C. probably right around 7 or 6, but thunderstorms were in the area, or they were pouring in New York, and so they delayed the flight by a couple of hours. And I had checked my bag into DC, hoping that it would go smoothly to my next destination where I pick it up in JFK. Well, when I heard that that the plane was delayed a little bit longer, the bag did not arrive. And so I knew it wouldn't be able to make my next flight on to Stockholm, where I was going to have to check it again. And so I asked the Delta airline people to send it on, which they said that they would since it was with another airline, on to Copenhagen. And so once I got to JFK, I had to wait because there was some other unexpected delay. And one thing about being delayed is you often hang out with people that you wouldn't normally hang out with. And we truly had an international line of people that wove its way like a big giant snake as we all waited to check in. And it was quite entertaining at times because the later it got, after midnight, when we were told the flight was now not going to be out until 3:50 a.m., people got a little giddier or weirder, and so that was quite entertaining in itself. I'd like to say that I was not one of them. I kind of, held it together. Well, then I boarded the flight, and fortunately, knowing that I didn't have to check my bag once I got to Stockholm, since they would send it all the way to send it all the way to Denmark, I felt a little relieved. And so I just laid down. I found a seat with 4 seats attached that nobody was in. That's one good thing about flying at 3:50 a.m. is that not a lot of people want to go on that flight. And so some people may be canceled, but I had a whole row to myself. It was like first class in a weird kind of way. So as soon as they took off, I just kicked back and fell fast asleep for about 5 hours. And that really helped with jet lag. So once I got then to Stockholm, I just quickly raced on. Well, I have to confess, I was screwed up on time. I thought it was 11:30 a.m. and I forgot to adjust my clock, which my phone had not caught up with the current time. So I thought it was morning, but it was really at night. So now I'm realizing my flight to Denmark is going to leave soon, and I had to quickly race through instead of getting coffee and waking up because it was now nighttime. It was truly like being in one of those time warps. And then once I got to Denmark, I went to the baggage claim, ready to be reunited with my beautiful blue bag. Alas, it was not there. And so I went and was picked up by my dear friend Lena and Oren, who took me back to their cute little abode, and I was able to borrow a few toiletries to get through. But then the next day, it still didn't arrive. The next day, it still didn't arrive. And I was getting a little concerned. But then I thought back to so many people in the campfire, the fire that went through Paradise this year, and how they didn't have a chance at all to decide what they wanted. And even though this bag was really important to me because it has all the things that I'll be hanging out with for the next 6 months to a year, I don't know. But I was attached to the bag, but also I had to let go. So I just want to point out that there's the Zen of travel. When things don't seem to be going the way you think they should, you have to let go sometimes and just trust that everything is going to work out in the end, which it did because my bag came finally the third night. I don't think Delta does much for passengers if that occurs, but anyway, I'm just grateful that I have my bag with all the special things that I needed to buy for this trip, including an expensive water purifier for India. So I was able to borrow the things I needed from my friends, and I was not really worse for the wear. I got to sleep for 5 hours, which then allowed me to get over jet lag much quicker. It's harder going east, I've heard, and yet I didn't have a bad experience at all because I got to sleep. So once again, the Zen of travel is just knowing that you're in it for the journey, not the quick, just the quick legs where you're quickly reminded that things happen, and you live in an attitude of just knowing that ultimately things do work out. And so I hope that whatever journey you take, you can just be reminded that as long as you get there alive and safely, then having a delayed bag is not the end of the world. Waiting in line with other people to chat with is also not so bad. And the best thing is being greeted by wonderful people who took me in and hosted me. And I will be sharing an interview with one of them shortly. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening or morning or afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. And thank you for listening. Please remember to hit subscribe so you can get updates. And I will be in touch soon. Thank you and namaste.